Brad. Thank you. We're going to go directly to Diane Black's watch party this evening. She's in third place, leading Beth Harwell.
I know that this is a whole room full of people who are faithful people to know that sometimes God just sets a different course for you than what you set for yourself. And those twists and turns sometimes take you in places that you could never imagine. As a matter of fact, as I stand here and think about the places that God has brought me from, many of you know my story that I was born in public housing. We didn't have a whole lot in my family. I grew up in public housing until my dad was able to get a decent job. And my parents, who are 93 years old today, still live in my childhood home. As a young woman and as a single mother, I worked the night shift as a nurse. I'd come home and I would be dead on my feet, but I took care of my 3 little ones. And if you had told me back then that I would have had a chance to be the first Tennessean to chair the House Budget Committee at the federal level and to work with the President and the Vice President of the United States on once-in-a-generation tax reform, I would not have believed you. There's no way I could have imagined that. And if you'd have told me back then that I would write the most important pro-life legislation, as William said, in the history of our beautiful state, I would not have believed that. There's no way I would have believed that. And if you would have told me that I would be standing here, standing next to the best husband that I could imagine, you all know that, don't you? Surrounded by my 3 children and 6 grandchildren, all of my friends and family that are here tonight, people that I didn't know before this race started that I now know as good friends, with hundreds of thousands of people out there across this state that have supported me, I wouldn't believe that either. But you know, sometimes God has a different plan. And I'm blessed in my life that I've worked hard to give back to the state of Tennessee, and that won't end tonight. That does not end just because I was not elected. As long as I have a breath in my body, I will continue to give back to the state that I love. Ronald Reagan said that this country was set aside in an uncommon way, and I believe the same thing of the state of Tennessee. Dave and I are not from the state of Tennessee, but we now have lived here for 36 years, and we feel this is a pretty special place. I believe that Tennessee was set aside in an uncommon way, with uncommon values, values that need to be protected and preserved. Those very values that I've talked about on the campaign trail. And I will continue to protect those values. In Tennessee, and you've heard me say this before, in Tennessee, we know right is right. We know wrong is wrong. We know truth is truth. We know God is God. And we know a life is a life. And I hope that all Republicans in this state and everyone in this room and those that are watching on television right now will join me in fighting for those values, because that is what makes Tennessee so special. Don't you all agree with that one? Now, I want to say a word to Team Black. We are a family. Everyone in this room, every one of you, and as I look around this room, my heart fills with such joy. It brings tears to my eyes to know the time that we have spent together.
Diane.